The Big Wheel. The Ant Queen had been ill for a long time. She had caught such a terrible chill that she was in bed with a fever for weeks. When she eventually got better, the ants decided that they would surprise their queen and celebrate her recovery. They thought and thought until one of them shouted, "Let's build a big wheel! There, on the hill! It can turn around nice and slowly, and we'll be able to see the whole of the forest from the top." Oh, what a super idea! But we don't have much time. No, we haven't got a lot of time. It will be Sunday in 6 days, and then the Ant Queen will parade through the forest on the conker cart. We need to be ready by then. The ant army got to work. They started to saw and hammer as they followed the plan. They worked hard and the big wheel grew larger by the day. But the last day soon arrived, and then the last night. "We won't be ready," one of them said, sounding sad. "Let's call for help," said another ant, and they sent the news out into the forest that anyone who could should come and lend a hand. Berry, Dolly, the spider, Stanley, Balthazar, Leapy and Eddie all came along. But no matter how hard they worked, they were still running out of time. "Thank you for coming along, but we're still not going to be ready by tomorrow morning. We need much more help." The moon could see what was happening and felt sorry for the ants. He gave a little whistle, and the sleepy stars gathered all around the moon. The forest friends stared in awe at the starry spectacle and set back to work with renewed energy. And with the stars' help, they were finished in no time at all. The ants also built a motor for the big wheel, and that made the massive wooden wheel move round and round. When it was finished, everybody tried it out. "Thank you, Moon! Thank you, stars!" the ants shouted. But by then, they had gone off to twinkle far, far away. The next morning, the Ant Queen sat in Harry Hedgehog's conker cart and rode away on a parade around the forest. They arrived at the hill and could not believe their eyes. "We built it for you!" the ants all shouted together. Then they told the Ant Queen how everything had happened and invited her to take her first ride on the big wheel. They did not have to ask twice, as she happily took her place and went round and round again. Lanterns. The fireflies lived in a little round house that hung from the branch of a tree on the top of a hill. They woke up one summer morning to find their house was blowing back and forth like a giant swing. "There's a storm outside, the wind's rocking the house," one of the fireflies said in a terrified tone. "We'll have to stop it or the house will break off the branch," a second firefly shouted, but it was already too late. The rope broke and the house began to fall. "Ah!" The fireflies shouted and flew out of the windows as quickly as they could. No one was hurt, but the house was ruined. The forest friends gathered to see what all the noise was about. "The house is smashed up," cried the littlest firefly, and he ran to Dolly. "We'll build you a new one," Balthazar offered. "The biggest problem is that all our lanterns broke," the head firefly told them. "We'll stick them back together somehow," Berry nodded. "No, Berry, they can't be stuck back together. We have to go and see the great lightning beetle. Only he can give us new lanterns," the firefly informed him. "When do we leave?" the others asked. "Right away." The fireflies all set off. "Have a good trip," Berry and Dolly shouted after them. They flew for 3 long days. They spent the first night under the cap of a mushroom. On the second night, they cuddled up in a cave. Then on the 3rd day, they arrived at the lightning beetle's house. The old beetle's house looked just like the fireflies' lamps, but it was much bigger. The lightning beetle slowly opened the door. He had difficulty moving around and his silver wings draped down over his bent back. He wore a tall, poky hat and his beard hung down to the ground. He looked just like a wizard. "Come on in," he muttered. The fireflies told him how their house had fallen to the ground and how all their lanterns had smashed. "That's what's happened. Only you can help." "Very well, I'll help you. I'll give you all new lanterns, but you need to take good care of them. You're the only ones in the forest who can bring light to the dark night." One by one, he carefully handed the lamps to the fireflies. "Hold them tight," he said, and he waved his stick, and the light magically appeared in the lamps. "They're so pretty, thank you. We promise that we'll take good care of our new lanterns," the fireflies told him, and then they all flew out of the house. "Where are we going to live when we get home?" they asked each other in a worried buzz. But they did not have to worry for long. Hey, come over here, this is your new house," shouted Berry, Dolly, Balthazar, Flutter, Stanley and all the other forest friends. "We built you a house in the hole in this tree," said Berry. "And we made the windows and a door," Flutter continued. "Your house definitely won't fall down again now," Balthazar announced with pride. "Thank you," the fireflies all said, and they went tiredly to bed. They climbed into the 15 beds and were all soon fast asleep. Dumplings. One autumn day, Dolly the ladybird cooked plum dumplings and invited her friends to lunch. Berry came along, and so did Balthazar, Stanley and Flutter. The little ladybird girl put 3 dumplings on each plate. Berry, Dolly and Flutter were soon full.
Plum dumplings. I love them. I could eat 5,
said Balthazar the bee. 5 is nothing. I could eat 7.
7? I could eat 8.
I could eat 10, the little stag beetle announced.
Then let's have a competition,
Balthazar concluded.
Let's see who can eat the most dumplings.
Dolly didn't like the sound of this, and she tried to talk them out of it, but the boys were determined. "It'll all end in tears," she warned, but Balthazar and Stanley wouldn't listen. "We've already eaten 3 dumplings. Now let's eat the 4th, Stanley suggested, and he plopped another dumpling onto each plate. When they had finished, they put another on their plates and ate a 5th dumpling each. After the 5th, they ate a 6th. After the 6th, they ate a 7th. After the 7th, they ate an 8th, and then a 9th dumpling.
And now for the 10th. Can you keep going?
Balthazar asked. "I could eat twice as many," Stanley said with a shrug. The 2 friends ate so many dumplings that their tummies started to hurt more and more. "I'll run and get Dr. Owl," shouted Flutter the butterfly. Dr. Owl examined them both and gave them a good telling off. "What have you 2 been doing? I'm not surprised that you've got stomachache."
They ate 15 each, Berry said as he counted the plumstones on the plates.
"And so it was a draw after all. It was a very silly thing to do. You'll only be allowed to eat boiled potatoes for 3 days. But the chimney cake man's coming to the forest tomorrow," Stanley complained. "I'm very sorry, but there's going to be no chimney cake for you. Come and see me in 3 days and I'll take a look at your tummies again," Dr. Owl said with a scowl, and he flew away home. The very next day, the firebug arrived in the meadow with his delicious chimney cakes. All the forest friends flocked to the stall to sample his tasty wares. "I'd like a cinnamon one," Dolly said. "And I'd like a coconut one," Berry added. "I only want sugar on mine," Flutter shouted. But there were also cakes with walnuts, poppy seeds and chocolate on them. Balthazar and Stanley looked sadly on, but they did as Dr. Owl had told them. On the 3rd day, the little bee and his stag beetle friend went to see Dr. Owl. "Now let's take a look at you," said the elderly owl, as he examined them both thoroughly. "You appear to be better. I can see that you did as you were told." "We did," Stanley said with a sob, "but I so wanted to eat a chimney cake." Stanley and Balthazar said goodbye to Dr. Owl and were walking home when the old bird shouted after them. "Wait 1 second. I've got something for you here. I saved 2 chimney cakes for you."
You went to the meadow, Dr. Owl?
"Of course. I bought chimney cakes for my chicks and I put 2 away for you. You did exactly as I said, and so I thought you deserved a treat." "Thank you," the 2 friends said with a smile, and they both threw their arms around Dr. Owl. Easter eggs. Easter had arrived at last. Flutter the butterfly girl, Rosita the rose beetle, Leapy the grasshopper girl and Zephyr the dragonfly all gathered together at Dolly's house to paint eggs for Easter. "How many eggs do we have to paint?" Rosita asked. "Now let's see, Berry is certain to come and visit tomorrow, but so is Balthazar, Stanley, Eddie, Bubble, Alfonso and Sam Snail. That means we need to paint 7 eggs each. We better get started." "Oh, they look so pretty. I'm sure that the boys will love them," Flutter told the others. "It's time to go home. I've got to get up early tomorrow to make pancakes for the boys," Flutter said. "I'm going to bake scones," Rosita said. "And I'm going to make an apple strudel," Dolly added. All the girls got up bright and early the next morning.
Flutter hurried into the kitchen, put on her apron and mixed up a big batch of pancake batter. Rosita popped her apron on and started to knead her scone dough. Dolly rolled her pastry out and Zephyr made a sponge roll. Leapy woke up feeling quite excited.
Boys never get up early. I've still got plenty of time to bake an apple pie.
And she put a big basket of apples on the table. Oh dear. The basket of apples tipped over and knocked her pretty painted Easter eggs onto the floor. They were all ruined.
Oh, my eggs! Now what am I going to do? What will I give to my visitors?
The little grasshopper girl sobbed as she ran to Dolly's house.
Dolly, I've smashed all 7 of my eggs. Help me!
I haven't got time, Leapy. I'm busy baking. But I've still got 2 unpainted eggs. If you paint them quickly, they'll be dry by the time the boys come.
Rosita, all my eggs got smashed. Can you help?
I'm too busy baking, but you can have these 3 white eggs. You've still got time to paint them if you hurry.
Flutter, help! I've got to paint my eggs all over again. The first lot got broken.
All of them? I am sorry, but I can't help now. My pancakes will burn. You can have these 2 unpainted eggs I've got left over.
Something terrible has happened, Zephyr. I've broken all the eggs I painted yesterday. Please help me, because I haven't got time to paint another 7 eggs.
Leapy complained to her dragonfly friend. I know who can help you. Come with me. The 2 friends ran through the forest all the way to a cave. The spider stumbled sleepily from his home. Oh, can you help us, Spider? Zephyr asked. Leapy's eggs all got broken. And now she has to paint new ones and there's not much time left. The boys will be coming to visit her soon.
If I have to,
the spider grumbled.
Thank you. You're very kind.
Leapy got out all her paints and brushes and the 2 of them started to paint the eggs. The spider could paint 3 eggs at once.
We're ready,
Leapy said with a happy laugh. And then she thanked the spider for his help and she arranged the pretty eggs in a dish. There soon came a knock at Leapy's front door. She opened the door and was greeted by all 7 boys at once. Happy Easter, Leapy! They had all come to see Leapy, who offered them a dish, and they all chose a pretty Easter egg.
I haven't got any cakes to offer you, I'm afraid,
Leapy said in a whisper, and then she told them all about what had happened. Don't worry about that, the boys laughed. We ate strudel at Dolly's house, scones at Rosita's house, pancakes at Flutter's house, and sponge roll at Zephyr's house. Our tummies are full. The bicycle. One summer day, a pigeon delivered a parcel to Berry and Dolly. It was quite a big parcel and wrapped in pretty red paper and tied with a blue ribbon. Dolly read the note attached. It's from the centipede! Hooray! He's coming to visit us soon, and he sent us this present. To us? Berry asked. What do you mean? To me or you? It says in the letter that it's for us. It's a present for both of us, I suppose. That's silly, Berry argued. I'm sure it's meant to be for me, because I was the one who found him in the snow last Christmas. But he stayed at my house. I looked after him and made him tea, Dolly replied. But I read him caterpillar stories from the storybook, Berry added. The red wrapping paper wasn't that strong, and it soon tore open. Wheels poked out from underneath. It's a bicycle, Berry exclaimed. It's just perfect for me. No, it's just perfect for me, Dolly insisted. All right, you can have the bicycle if you want it so much. I'll be the bigger person. You're behaving like a silly baby. That upset Berry. That's not fair. I'm going to be the bigger person and you're the silly baby. You can have the bicycle. In the end, neither of them took the bicycle. They walked away and left the half-unwrapped bicycle in the meadow. Not long after that, Balthazar the bee and Flutter the butterfly came by.
What do you think it is? Is it a bicycle?
Balthazar asked. Yes, it looks like it, Flutter replied. There's a note stuck to it. It's for Berry and Dolly from the centipede.
Let's take it to them,
Balthazar suggested. They touched the bicycle and the rest of the wrapping paper fell off. This made them laugh. Look, it's a tandem. 2 people can ride it.
Let's have a go,
Balthazar said. Hello, Berry. Hello, Dolly. We brought you your bike. You left it in the meadow, Flutter shouted. Berry and Dolly came outside. They saw Flutter and Balthazar on the bicycle and felt very silly.
Oh, it's a tandem. We can both sit on it.
And we had such a fight about it. They made friends again and hugged each other happily.
What a super present. We wasted all our time quarrelling and we haven't made anything for the centipede. He could arrive at any minute,
Berry said in a panic. Let's make him a colourful windmill. We can use pretty petals, Flutter suggested. Yes, that's a great idea, Berry and Dolly agreed. The 4 friends gathered red, purple, white, yellow and pink petals and made a windmill. Just then, the centipede arrived in a cart pulled by a mouse. The little mouse stopped in the meadow and the centipede climbed out. He gave Berry and Dolly a big hug.
I see you got my present. I hope you like it.
It's beautiful. We love it, Berry and Dolly said. And we made you this windmill. The centipede stayed with Berry and Dolly for 10 whole days. They went for long rides on their bicycle. They talked, sang and played a lot. They had a very good time, but the happy days passed soon.
I have to go home now. I've had such a super time here,
the centipede said. Do come and visit us again next summer, Berry and Dolly said, as they waved goodbye to their friend. Stanley Skates. It was a crispy winter day and Berry and Dolly were walking by the lake. It had frozen over and was covered by a very thick layer of ice.
Come on, Dolly, let's slide on the ice,
the little snail suggested. The ladybird happily agreed. Berry and Dolly stepped cautiously onto the ice. They held on tightly to each other and began to slide slowly around. They were really having a wonderful time. They soon warmed up. They fell over every now and then, but when they did, they just laughed and carried on playing. Stanley the stag beetle stood and watched them.
Stanley, you have to try this. Come and slide with us, it's so much fun,
Berry said to his friend. Stanley was slightly scared but stepped onto the ice out of curiosity.
Ah!
He yelled as his feet slipped out from under him and he fell on his bottom. Berry and Dolly ran over to him. We'll give you a hand, Stanley. The 2 friends stood either side of Stanley and guided him slowly forward. Now we'll let go of you and you can try by yourself, Dolly told him. Then the snail and the ladybird let Stanley go. Slow down, Stanley, Dolly shouted, and Stanley tried to stop, but he stumbled and sped into a patch of prickly bushes.
Help! I'm full of prickles and my antler hurts. It hurts a lot.
Dolly ran over quickly to take a look at the injured stag beetle. Don't give up, Dolly said, and bandaged Stanley's painful antler with her dotty scarf. Just then, a beautiful girl beetle slid out onto the ice. She moved over the frozen surface of the water as gracefully as can be.
Wow, who are you?
Dolly asked.
I'm Iris the ice beetle.
Hi, Iris. She's Dolly the ladybird, he's Stanley the stag beetle, and I'm Berry the snail, Berry said in his politest voice.
How do you manage to glide on the ice like that?
Stanley asked the stranger.
Because I'm wearing ice skates, special shoes that can slide on the ice, Iris replied. You have to buckle them to your boots.
Did you make them yourself? Berry asked curiously.
Yes, I made them. It's really not that difficult. I can make ice skates for all of you if you like.
Hooray! The three friends shouted excitedly. Berry, Dolly, Stanley and Iris went to the forest together. Iris sorted through the branches lying on the ground and eventually found one good for the job. They all got to work, sawing and hammering in tiny nails. Everybody did their share.
They're finished,
Iris eventually announced. And there were 3 pairs of brand new ice skates sitting on the table. Berry and Dolly felt a little bit nervous as they fastened their new ice skates on, but Stanley was the most worried. Berry and Dolly held onto each other and stepped out onto the ice. Iris helped Stanley.
Sliding on the ice is so much better with ice skates, Stanley laughed. Iris held Stanley's hand for a long time before he was happy to slide all on his own. He soon learned how to turn and start and stop. I can do it! I can ice skate! He announced at the end of a very long but happy day. The Water Snail. Berry, Dolly, Flutter and Balthazar were sitting around in the meadow. I wish I had a cousin too, a distant snail relative, Berry sighed.
But you've got a sort of cousin, Berry. The water snail is a kind of snail,
Flutter the butterfly said. Really? Berry jumped to his feet with a grin. Where does this water snail live?
Nowhere,
Balthazar retorted.
I don't think there's such a thing as a water snail.
Oh, yes, there is. I know where he lives. He's got a little house deep down in the round pond on the other side of the forest.
You're talking nonsense,
the bee said.
Why don't we go down to the round pond to see for ourselves?
Come with me. I'll take you, Hedgehog Harry told his friends. We can be there before it gets dark.
Hooray!
Berry whooped. I'll bring the air tank so we can swim down to the bottom of the pond. Berry, Dolly, Flutter and Balthazar hopped into the hedgehog cart and set out for the round pond. It was late in the evening by the time they finally caught sight of the pond.
The cart's running away!
The little bee shouted, but it was already too late. The hedgehog cart rolled right into the water. Berry, Dolly, Balthazar and Flutter all started crying. It's too late to do anything today. Let's go to bed, and tomorrow you can all swim down to the bottom of the pond. I'm sure you'll find the cart, Harry comforted them. Berry woke up bright and early the next morning.
Look, the water lily has opened its petals and there's someone standing on its leaf and he's waving at us. Who are you?
Berry asked politely.
Hello, everybody. My name's Sam Snail and I live deep down at the bottom of the round pond. See, Balthazar, water snails do exist after all. I've got my own proper cousin now.
Sam Snail didn't understand why Berry was so happy to see him, But then Dolly told him why they had come.
I'm so happy to meet you, Cousin Berry,
the Water Snail said. Would you help us find our cart that rolled into the water, Sam? Flutter asked.
I'd be delighted. Follow me,
the Water Snail said. So the 4 friends slipped into their swimming costumes and swam all the way down to the bottom of the pond.
This is where I live,
Sam Snail announced with pride. They heard a frightening hissing sound that scared Berry, Dolly, Flutter and Balthazar, who hid behind the house.
Don't be scared. It's my friend the Water Snake. Water Snake, have you seen a cart at the bottom of the pond by any chance? Hang on to me and I'll take you there. There it is,
the Water Snake hissed. Berry, Dolly, Balthazar and Flutter were happy they'd found it. You did it, said Harry. He was so happy to see his little friends again.
Let's go for a trip on the pond,
Sam Snail suggested. They all sat on the lily pad and Sam Snail started rowing. It's time we were going, Dolly said when it began to get dark.
Oh, let's stay a little longer,
Berry pleaded. We'll come again another day, Flutter reassured the little snail. Harry Hedgehog was already waiting for them. Berry, Dolly, Flutter and Balthazar all said goodbye to Sam Snail and headed for home. The next day, Berry and Dolly both painted colourful pictures of their distant cousins. Friends. It was a super sunny day and Dolly the ladybird sat staring out of the window. I'm going to eat breakfast, she thought, and then I'll go for a walk in the meadow. She decided to take her wheelbarrow with her. I wonder if I'll find something interesting to take home in my wheelbarrow, she thought to herself. Goodness me, said Dolly. What a lovely red cherry. That's just perfect for my lunch. She tried to lift the cherry into her wheelbarrow, but it was far too heavy. Too heavy for one little ladybird. Just then, Berry the snail appeared.
Why the sad face, ladybird?
Asked Berry. I can't lift this cherry into my wheelbarrow, Dolly replied.
Don't cry, I'll help you, Berry said with a smile,
and the 2 of them picked the cherry up with no trouble at all. Dolly set straight off home with the juicy cherry. Now it was Berry who looked sad. Don't you want to share the cherry with me? The snail said and stamped his little foot. I did help you. But I found it first, Dolly snapped. You're not having any, it's mine. Berry was very upset. The 2 of them started to fight over the cherry. It's mine, shouted Dolly. That's not fair, Berry shouted back. They pushed and pulled the cherry until it split clean in 2. Berry and Dolly plopped to the ground. They were very surprised when a green grub crawled out of the cherry.
What have you done to my cherry?
He grumbled.
That cherry was my home. Oh, don't look so upset,
the grub said.
I know where we can find plenty more. You can eat cherries while I find a new home for myself.
Dolly helped the grub into her wheelbarrow, and they all set off to look for the cherry tree. When they arrived, they found the ground around the cherry tree was covered in ripe red fruit. Berry and Dolly jumped for joy. The grub fell fast asleep while Berry and Dolly munched away on fresh cherries, and the time soon flew by. It was getting late, so they decided to go home, but this time with 2 cherries, one for Dolly and one for Berry. The sun was setting by the time they reached Berry's house. They took his cherry out of the wheelbarrow and said goodbye. Berry went inside and waved to Dolly from the window. Berry soon fell fast asleep after such an exciting day. The little snail dreamt about playing in cherries with Dolly and eating until their tummies were full. Then Dolly got back home and went straight to bed. From that day on, Berry and Dolly were the best of friends.